third and fourth qualifiers from the session today, both the Rockstar Makita Suzuki team riders. Tommy Hayden, third place with a 138.715, and Blake Young, his teammate, with a 138.783. We're still awaiting the other two qualifiers. But these gentlemen are here, and we'd like to get things moving along because we're all on a tight schedule, as I'm sure you can all imagine. Let me start with you guys. Tommy, a little bit, session was up and down. You guys put some quick times. There was 4 or 5 changes on the top of the leaderboard. What was the track conditions like in terms of the cool weather? How did that affect what you were trying to achieve today?
Well, it didn't seem a lot different. Basically it's been pretty cool, cooler than normal every time we've been out, so that's what we've been used to. I expected actually the track to make a bigger jump than it did from the morning to the afternoon. To me, it felt pretty similar to the morning when it was a little cooler. So, to me, conditions were pretty similar.
With regard to the track and the temperature, do you feel the track temperature rise? Does the sun help get more heat into the track?
Usually, you can feel it if it starts making a pretty big change, but a couple degrees here and there is kind of hard to tell. The wind's seems to be changing quite a bit too. That's affecting it also.
Cool. Blake, you talked a little bit about when you came in, there was a little bit of frustration with in terms of trying to get a good clear lap out there. I mean, this is a big track, but you still find yourself getting caught behind guys. Where would that be, and when did it happen during the session for you?
It's God, I don't know, like 22 guys are out there circulating. It's just kind of luck of the draw, where you catch guys. You catch a slower rider in the chicane, or, where you catch them on the track and you get by them good and clean and keep on going with your lap. It's just kind of luck of the draw. But, we struggle a little bit with that, trying to get a good lap in. But, we're pretty happy with, working with the new crew this year. And the boys are working hard. We had a little bit of struggles yesterday in practice with one of the bikes, but kind of rebounded pretty good, I think, in this session, and got it on the front row, and we'll still work on it for the race.
How much do you and Tommy work together in terms of overall setup?
We share some stuff underneath the tent a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Super. I'd like to thank you guys. If you guys want to take off, or maybe there's a few questions for these guys quick before they run. Anybody? All right, I'm going to let these guys go because there's a lot going on and we want to get things moving. Well, obviously, we'd like to welcome Aaron Yates, Jordan Suzuki team. Very impressive performance, a really topsy-turvy qualifying session. You were quick early, jumped down, came up, saw some other challenges, and then really laid down a very impressive lap with a 138.324. That compares with last year's pole time, which was a 137.498 by Matt Mladen. But Aaron, you've really got to be excited putting a lap down like that, especially with your boss on the premises and everything else that goes into a new season.
Yeah, we're real happy to to get to Jordan Suzuki up on the pole position for sure. It's their first time ever with the team, in Superbike class. For sure conditions weren't really ideal to go out there and go real fast, but we were working on the setup the whole time, the whole session, all sessions, and just making real small adjustments and trying to get the bike as good as it can be for the race. And we had our tire strategy planned out pretty good, and it just worked out for us.
You tested well recently in Fontana. How much of that effect of that test did you carry over into this event?
Pretty much all of it. Everything we learned there, we tested that was good and positive. That's what we're working with on the bike, and it's helping the bike go around the track faster and easier, and it's showing with the lap times.
Coming after a long cold winter for many of us, how is it for you to kind of get yourself reacclimated and back into the swing of things coming out here to Daytona with the high banks?
That's not too bad. It was nice, that little 30-minute session yesterday morning. It was kind of just a little shakedown. Went out with new boots and new gloves and stuff, and trying to get some things broken in and just get used to the speed on the banking. I haven't really done much riding at all this off season on a motorcycle, but been having a good time and just really been anxious to get back out there and ride. And I just got to say thanks to the Jordan Suzuki guys, for having me a good bike, competitive and fast motorcycle, and to give us the possibility to get up here.
You know, you have a new teammate, Jake Zemke, on the National Guard, Jordan Suzuki. How is that working with a different person as your teammate?
No, it's it's fine. But the only time I see him is when we're changing clothes in there, and we talk about some things a little bit when we're going over some data and looking at things and doing some comparisons and all. But as far as working with him on on the bike and all, we don't really. It's kind of. They don't really work because he's so small, and things that I'm doing with my bike aren't really the same as what he does with his bike. So, that's just how it is.
Any questions? Anybody? It's amazing. Okay, well, man, I'm going to cut you loose. Congratulations again. Great job. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Second place qualifier, Larry Pegram on the Foremost Insurance Ducati. Larry, you turned in a 138.372. I heard you say you thought that would have been good enough. You know, you've come off a long, cold winter up in Ohio. You get down here, you really set some really excellent representative times coming into this session. Was there anything that prevented you from duplicating the P1 positions you've had previous to this going into the qualifying?
Aaron.
Yeah, one guy.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for him, thanks, Aaron. Yeah. No, I mean, I felt good. We were having some little bit of issue with the traction control stuff. I don't know what it was, but I mean, it was all right there at the end, but it kind of frustrated me through the session, and then right at the end I went fast. But the first lap out I put a new tire on the first lap, I got blocked, and then second lap was a 38.3, so maybe I could have went faster the first lap, but I didn't, so that was it.
Does traffic present a problem as an ongoing thing during the session?
Yeah, I mean, there's always guys out there that don't seem to be, it's not that they're not as fast, it's just they're not as courteous. Whenever I'm not on a hard lap, I'm always looking back, especially towards the end of qualifying, to get out of people's way. But it seems like always the guys that are a little bit off the pace, they don't care. They just ride in slow and don't look back. So I got held up in the chicane.
Do you look for somebody or try to plan ahead to possibly get a draft when you're coming up onto the tri-oval?
No, I was just riding by myself the whole time. Blake Young kept trying to get behind me. He can't ride. I guess he can't do a lap by himself, so he had to keep following me.
Well, it's good to be a leader. The motorcycle itself has been very impressive. Is there anything that you've done with it off-season to improve it?
It's basically the exact same motorcycle we showed up here last spring with. We've just refined the settings on it, basically.
I asked the other guys, how about yourself? How much acclimation did you need to get yourself kind of back into the swing of things after a long off-season?
Well, we tested at Fontana, and then we tested at Jennings on the way down here. And then we rode a little bit last weekend, too. So we got like 30 laps in last weekend. So that wasn't the case of getting acclimated. It's just this place is just always hunting for grip. Everybody's hunting for grip.